Ladies and gentlemen, hello. I'm Joanna Rolick, the Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce, and it's my great pleasure to be the first at the microphone and look out over this august gathering. It's really wonderful to see so many of you coming out who we haven't seen in a while, and I know that both what we call the State of the Town's presentation in January, which is our breakfast with the city manager and village administrator, those are always very well attended too. You guys have your dog and pony show and do a very good job. And then half a year in, we enjoy listening from the mayors and hearing how things are going, where things are as we've moved halfway into, in this case, 2025. So it's wonderful to have both mayors with us today. The Chamber's newly designed website. I urge you to do that because what we have done per recommendation or suggestion of a couple of people in the community is enhanced our community calendar so that it includes things that are taking place in both communities. It's very easy to be able to check out. We have taken the liberty also of dividing all the things that have been given to us, or let's say, entered into the calendar, dividing them into categories so that you can go up there and look for things that are family fare, that are outdoor, that are musical and theater. So go in and you'll see these categorical listings. And I urge you, if you have any sort of special event, be sure to put it up on the calendar, and we tell you how to do that, and it's very easy. So we want you to take a look at that. The other thing is that our community guide that comes out this time of year, every year. We haven't gotten them into the offices yet, so I couldn't bring them with me today to be able to hand them out to all of you. But here's what I would tell you. That QR code that's the third one down is to the digital version of the new community guide, which we're very proud of. And we want to thank so many of you in this room who have participated in it by supporting it. We have 116 advertisers, and I know many of you are in this room. Thank you so much. So 116 advertisers. It's an 100-page booklet that includes everything you need to know with links to things around Lake Forest, Lake Bluff, and it includes all of our member organizations in it, both alphabetically and categorically. So I think almost virtually everybody in this room is a member of the Chamber, and we thank you for that participation. And we want to be sure that you tell us if there is something that you want to see or do or have us do, because we're here to serve you. So wanted to tell you that. And then finally, we have our Before Work breakfast that is coming up in 2 weeks. And that is something that we do that's networking. I'm looking at Christy over here and Diana, and I'm looking at some others who we see coming to the Before Work every month. It's a wonderful way to be able to network and build a referral network, which we're very happy to support. And that we have typically anywhere from 50, we've had 90 people there. And the way we flow is that everybody there gets a chance to get the microphone passed to them, and they can tell us who they are, what they do, and give us something to think about so that it makes for some wonderful referrals. So we thank you very much. We have at this point 450 members in the Chamber. We're very proud of that. We are, if not the largest, I don't think Evanston has more than we do right now, so we may be the largest on the North Shore. We're very proud of that. So thank you all for your support and for your participation, very importantly, because what we're trying to do, all of us, is A, look for success for all of you, but also keep building our communities. We have fabulous communities here, very proud of them. So I wanted to, having told you everything that's on this sheet now, I want to move to our presentation, which is what everybody would like to hear. And I would like to introduce our two guests today who have been at this for a while, and so this is not their first rodeo with the Mayor's Luncheon, but we appreciate your coming and joining us. I'll start with Regis. Regis Charlot has been the village president of the Village of Lake Bluff Board of Trustees since April of 2021. A successful innovator, entrepreneur, and community leader with over 30 years of experience driving organizational growth and transformation, Regis, quote unquote, retired, they're air quotes, right? Retired a couple of years ago after globally transforming our national healthcare IT landscape with electronic health record and clinical terminology solutions. Viewing retirement as a new chapter filled with fresh opportunities and adventures, he now leads a startup delivering a software as a service platform for mountain sports equipment rentals. Together, Regis and his wife Leanne have raised their daughter Emma and son Tad through the Lake Bluff schools and Lake Forest High School. Lake Forest Mayor Stanford Tack. He was sworn into office on May 1st, 2023, and was elected as a 3rd Ward alderman in 2011, serving multiple terms from 2012 to 2018. While alderman, Dr. Tack served as the chair of the Public Works Committee and Fire Services Committee. From 2021 to 22, he also served as chair of the Central Business District Working Group. Dr. Tack earned a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Illinois and attended the University of Illinois College of Medicine. He moved to Lake Forest upon completion of his fellowship at Rush Medical Center. He is the founding board member of the Illinois Bone and Joint Institute, which several of us have patronized. He was appointed vice president of the Midwest Orthopedic Network and managing partner at the Illinois Bone and Joint Institute. Gentlemen, we thank you and welcome you both.
Thank you.
We're looking at the topics here. So we have finances, planning updates, capital improvements, special events, and staying connected, which are topics that both of our administrators are going to address. We'll go to the city.
Very good. Really, this is a short topic for me. Everything's great. Really, the city is in terrific financial condition currently, which is really the result of the long-term planning that we do. All of our fund reserves are up to speed. We have a balanced budget for this year. Last year, we ran somewhat of a surplus, which allowed us to put that money back into the capital program so that additional capital work could be done. We once again received a AAA bond rating, and I think what's really important about that is a lot of people dismiss it as sort of, well, of course you do, but most communities don't, and many don't understand how you get it and what it means. And the assumption is that because we're an affluent community, we get this, and that's actually not correct. We get this because of our governmental organization and our demonstrated fiscal responsibility. And in particular, they pointed out to us that how we have addressed our pension liabilities, which is very unique, was a major factor in reissuing this bond rating. So it's something that we're particularly proud of, and that award really is a credit to all the city staff and the way they budget and the way they plan, and also the city council as well for their forward-thinking approach to city government. Over the last 5 years, we've been able to obtain $21 million in grants to assist us with capital projects. Obviously, you see some of that going on around you. The project, the Deer Path Streetscape, which I'm sure is near and dear to many of your hearts, is in part based on governmental grants. So we've been very successful at acquiring that to assist just with tax revenues. And it also takes pressure off of increasing city operating tax levies. With that said, I think I can pass it on to Regis.
Thank you, Randy. And first, thank you, Joanna, for this event. For us, it's a big deal because we get to put together that information and show to the community transparently what we're doing today, and this is very important. On our side, we are also on an all-time high. The red curve is our sales tax revenue. And it's actually important. Our finances are 1/3 sales tax, 1/3 real estate, and 1/3 other sources of revenue. We're doing well. What you see right here is that that orange should be a lot larger. It actually reflects that we are investing on our infrastructure, and you will see that we actually have 7 projects going on right now in Lake Bluff, or about to start. We're also AAA, a Moody AAA bond rating. It is important. We're much smaller than Lake Forest, but we still manage that with our finance operations. We have achieved a GFOA for the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award in June 2025, thanks to Bettina O'Connell, our finance director. And we're doing great, simply enough. And you will see that it reflects in the way we invest in our community. Oh, one more thing. We also got our real estate statistics. We got that a couple of days ago. We're basically on track from last year. We have today, up to a year to date, we have 75 sales of real estate. Last year was 73. If I compare that to Lake Forest, you guys are at 138 versus 143. So we were basically tracking to what happened last year, okay, by just a few %. I think this is an important point. It shows that our community are basically sustaining what we do, but not that much. So the investment we're doing to the community are important. They will bring more people. They will bring more. It will be more attractive for people to come and see us for events and for real estate.
If I could interrupt just one moment, what I neglected to tell everyone is that there are yellow cards on your table that will give you the opportunity to jot down any questions that you have. And then at the end of the presentation, just raise your hand with it and we will pick them up so that we can ask the questions of the mayor and village president. Thank you.
Sure. So the next topic is the strategic plan. And I made reference to this in my last comments. Starting at the top, fiscal stewardship. I mean, this is how we work. We just completed a 5-year plan. What we're doing now is the result of 5-year plans that occurred 5 years ago and 10 years ago. And that provides the city council and the city staff with a direction, a way to think about the future and a way to budget and plan. It's been very successful. The plan emanates from the community. We send out a survey. I think, let's see what the number was. Our last survey related to this had 1,425 responses, which quite honestly I think is amazing. People generally don't like to respond to surveys, but in this community they do, and the information they provide is what we build off of to develop the 5-year plans. And you know what it helps us identify is what's important to the community, where do we need to allocate resources. And an interesting example of something that didn't fit into the strategic plan, but in a sense we learned why we should take the opportunity, is happening right down the street from here, the new public safety building. That was on our 8 to 10 year capital improvement plan last year. And when an opportunity became available, we knew from our community survey that public safety was very much at the top of the priorities of the community. And we knew it was something that we had to address for both police and fire. So when an opportunity came to do something that addressed, number one, fiscal stewardship, and number two, a priority of the community, we took advantage of that. And the result is the public safety building that we're in the process of constructing, adaptive reuse of a corporate facility. Interestingly, for those of you who don't know much about it, since we did that, one of the people who negotiated the sale for us, I had breakfast with him and he let me know that he's now been engaged by 3 other communities who asked him to do what Lake Forest did. So I think, and this, again, wasn't directly in this, but it came out of this. And that's, in a large part, why it is that we as a community are successful, because we respond to the community.
Thank you, Randy. Similarly to Lake Forest, we also reconsidered our strategic plan, how we are framing our community around the different resources we have in town, and chose to extend that plan by another 2 years, reconsidering for the pandemics. We also took on to recraft our comprehensive land use plan. This is specifically the plan that addresses the different resources in town. It also is following the community willing to, many people want to downsize. There are no options in town to actually be able to downsize. What do we do about that? Considering the land use plan, we also got in touch with a company called Opticos, whose work concerns what they call the missing middle housing. What is there to actually scale from individual dwellings to multi-family apartments? What are we doing about that? We are bound to achieve that in Lake Bluff. We were not able to achieve that, or we're missing the tools for that. And so with a lot of input from the community, we went on to do our comprehensive land use plan. We engaged Opticos to really craft that aspect of our plan. And we ended up having the ability to deliver an incredible resource for Lake Bluff. If you have a second, like a couple hours, download our comprehensive plan. The first 20 pages are the history of Lake Bluff. If you do not know Lake Bluff, you will get to know Lake Bluff. It's incredible. What you will get to know also is, what is Lake Bluff? What do we stand for today? And last, what are the opportunities in Lake Bluff? Where do we still have opportunities today to build our community? That plan, Lake Bluff is about 5,600 people. We had about 4,500 website visits, 2,500 unique website visitors, 1,750 map comments. Amazing, okay? It's a plan that really shows the future of Lake Bluff, to the point that I'm absolutely convinced that when we started this plan, we also engaged ourselves in a conversation that is, what do we want Lake Bluff? What should be Lake Bluff? And if you're aware a little bit about Lake Bluff and Block 3, that is that bank that has been languishing for the past 20 years, that land is now being redeveloped to 2 different developments that will be about 12 condos. Now, it's not that much, but it is a start. And I believe that this movement will continue in Lake Bluff. So I'm very, very pleased about what we're seeing here. And that plan is worth visiting. It's worth considering, it's worth reading about, especially for real estate.
Okay, on to the Deer Path Streetscape project. So, as all of you know, I mean, this has been a major ongoing project for the last 5 months, I believe, dating back to February. And yet, although the project's been undergoing for 5 months, the planning started almost 10 years ago with conceptualization of what we wanted to do with the Deer Path streetscape, but also acknowledging that underneath the Deer Path streetscape was a massive amount of 50 to 70-year-old infrastructure that plain and simple needed to be replaced. And if you ever sort of wonder about that, I would say think about Skokie, and we'll move on from that. If any of you recall what happened in Skokie with the water main rupture and the damage. And these are the risks that we have of ignoring or delaying infrastructure. I think the oldest infrastructure we identified was 70 years old, almost 80. So anyway, this was a project that needed to be done. So when you identify major things that need to be done, you look at what are the opportunities that come out of that dislocation. And that's really what the planning groups did. And what you will see, hopefully by the end of October, is really going to be a transformed streetscape that you will all recognize as Lake Forest, but you will be amazed that it's Lake Forest because it's going to be different. It's going to be more pedestrian friendly. It will have living plants. And it will also be safer in terms of how the curbs and the walkways are redeveloped. and it will enhance the architecture that's present and encourage people to want to actually walk and spend time on Deer Path. So I think you will find that despite the dislocations that have occurred from the project, at the end of the day, it will really be, again, a testament to how the city works, the planning. And I will also say this as a part of this, and it may show up in my slides later, I don't remember. But we recognize the struggles that we've created for the business owners in the area. And I know all of you watch all the city council meetings, so you probably already know this. But we just passed a plan to provide financial mitigation to businesses in the corridor affected by this. And we were able to do this in part by using funds that weren't expended on the project, meaning when we set it out to bid, it came in significantly under budget, so we had budgeted amounts of money that we reserved for cost overruns, but also it allows us to apply that money to help sustain business owners during this period of time, and we're very proud that we were able to do that. And if you look across Northern Illinois, it's very rare for a municipality to do this. I'm only aware of one other municipality that's actually done that, and that happens to be where I grew up, Glen Ellen. And we're nothing like Glen Ellen, but you know, it's just sort of interesting to me that only 2 communities were able to do that. So these are the details of the project I was making reference to. And again, this was something that came about. It was created by a unique economic environment. You know, corporate office space in suburbs was really under duress. The property we were looking at happened to be owned by a large real estate investment trust that just wanted it out of their portfolio. We became aware of this. We floated the idea. The initial response was negative. However, once we did a little, creative thinking, we started to think, hey, maybe this is an idea. We ended up purchasing this, and you can see where the cost savings for this come. And this project, ground up, would have, as planned, would have cost between $60 and $70 million to do. We expect to be finished at about $25 million total cost, including purchase of the building. So I think it will turn out to be an amazing success. And it will be a multi-purpose building. In other words, the building is larger than we need, but we've reserved perhaps the most valuable space for tenants, and we have quite a bit of interest in that already. So I think it will turn out to be quite the success, and we're proud to be able to provide modern services for our public safety personnel. This also, by the way, the savings on this allows us to then go ahead and do the same thing, utilize the current public safety building as a fire-only building, that we can then bring that up to the standards that they deserve and provide the services that our firefighting team needs as well. These are just a list of some of the things that the new facility will do. And it's suffice it to say, if any of you have gone through the police or the fire academy and have been at the public safety building, you recognize needed to be done. Move on to Regis.
We have a few things going on in Lake Bluff, and that would be Block 1, Block 3, so along Scranton. We have our stormwater deep tunnel that is going from the viaduct all the way to the lake. We have Green Bay Road and Bridge, so it will not be very nice when that happens. And we have Sheridan Road being resurfaced by IDOT, our beach, and 41 and 176. So I'm very pleased that Lake Forest wants to look like Lake Bluff, by the way.
You mean under construction?
We'll get there. So our first project is Block 1, where we are matching basically the side of Innovasi, or that block, matching toward where the brewery, for example, Block 1 would be, where we try to match one side to the next match. Specifically, what we're going to do is keep a two-way street. We're going to get a flat space right here where we can have convenient block parties. We'll have potentially lighting. We don't know yet. We have, what else do we have? Green space, a lot more green space, a lot more space for putting chairs. We really liked how the pandemic happened where people were able to be outside. I would like to continue that trend where people can meet, people can be together, people can celebrate, and we have a safe space for it. And that is about to start this fall, so it should be better. We have a lot of issues where bluestones were there before. We really want to move forward with that next project. The next project is a project that has been pending for the past 20 years. That is Block 3. If you remember that bank right here, that has been there. What we have here, Block 3, is basically 5 lots, really 3 lots that are about right around here and 2 lots that are right around here. The first project that is right here, so that building has been approved. The construction started a few days ago, about 2 weeks ago. And we expect the construction to last about 2 years, including outside and readiness in 2 years from now by contract. Now, these are private investments, but they are consistent with our village streetscape. They will bury electric lines. They will have landscape that will match Lake Bluff. It is important. It also fits into our diversified housing initiative. We want people to be able to downsize. Now, the price per square foot is about $900. This is not quite of a downsize, but it is a start. And I hope we'll see a lot more of that, for example, Block 2 and other blocks in Lake Bluff. The next project right here, this is the Tom Dobbins project, is in phase 2 of 3 approval in this village. I have a high hope for this project to occur as well. And by the way, what we have here is, if we look at the structure of a village, we have buildings, we might have a building, we might have a less sized building, and then we have individual dwellings. It actually is the missing middle. We see that happening in our community from a perspective standpoint. And by the way, if you sit right here, right around here, you have a perspective of Lake Bluff that is amazing. And it was actually by design. And we're continuing that perspective right here. Okay? Next is our stormwater deep tunnel. It's probably a $22 million budget project. This is the largest budget project ever in Lake Bluff. Just for the pipe in red, this is $22 million. We will put pipes that are going to be feeder pipes everywhere in Lake Bluff to drive into that pipe, and we'll have the east side, the east terrace, and the north terrace also feeding into that pipe. That pipe here will be at 40 feet down, and it will be about 6.5 feet diameter as a pipe. It's a big deal to us. Water in Lake Bluff has always been an issue. And so what we're doing is we have enough money right now to start right here and go all our way back on North Avenue. And we have committed to, so by the end of the year, we'll be somewhere around here. We're starting right now, okay? By the end of the year, we'll be at Maple. It is a project that is important, and we have committed for people living on North Avenue for that road to be completely rebuilt from the ground up. Next slide. This is another project that is important to us. We have had many issues with infrastructure below Green Bay Road. This is the highest point in Lake Bluff. We're still getting flooded. We don't understand why. And actually, we know why. There are pipes that are not working as intended for the water. We're basically going down to the ground. We're removing that road all the way to the ground, and we're rebuilding everything. We're also rebuilding the bridge that is in between Lake Bluff and Lake Forest. And that bridge, I put that picture here to show it will be a bridge similar to the bridge on Moffett Road in Lake Bluff, going over one of our ravines for consistency of design in Lake Bluff.
Regis, will that be a toll bridge?
You guys
One
are
way
paying,
going your way.
You guys are paying, right? So it is going to be a very large hindrance, okay? It's not going to be easy. We'll build that road in sections, and this year we'll do the road from 176 to the bridge, and next year it will be the bridge. It will be a large issue of sharing resources with police and fire and moving kids to school. It's not going to be easy. There will be a public meeting Wednesday, July 30 at 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the public safety room in Lake Bluff to talk about this project. If you have questions, this is the best place. We'll have staff there answering questions. Next project. This is the only time I've seen IDOT doing something extremely fast. In about 3 months, that whole thing was done. Okay, we have been waiting 10 years somewhere else. I'm not making fun, maybe. So basically what we're doing is we are IDOT, or we are resurfacing Sheridan Road from Great Lakes all the way to Lake Forest and all the way to 176. This construction is, from a time standpoint, is deemed 75 days, IDOT days. And so we think it started 3 days ago. It will end, we think, at the latest, October 31st. We're sorry about the inconvenience of that, but you will still be able to drive on that road. That's a big deal. We got that done. We motivated NSWRD, the North Shore Water Reclamation District, to build a tank below the bridge that would be 3 days of loss of power for gray waters in Lake Bluff. I actually reused the slide we used about 3 years ago. I did not modify that text. They actually did achieve what they were set to achieve. They still have to paint the buildings. And of course, the vine should grow in the next 2 or 3 years. It should look a lot better. But we have showers and we have a bathroom on the beach. Okay, this is important. I took that picture specifically to also show that. I am a member of Lake Bluff Yacht Club. I'm a small boat sailor. I will have a lot of fun on the Sunfish. The NSWRD has committed money to the rebuild of LBYC, but not enough. So if you feel generous, they're going to have a fundraiser. And, but that structure will come back. People are dedicated to have that structure coming back in the next few years. We have, Lake Bluff is a beach community. We are committed to get that community of people going to the beach and enjoying our lakefront to survive. So it is important to us. Last, this project is interesting in the way that it will last a long time. Okay, this is probably a 20-year project in totality. We have been hoping for that project about 10 years ago. Those lanes right here are incredibly dangerous. I nearly died on that side once, the first time I took it. So I'm attached emotionally to that one. This is a multi-year project. What we have done the last 2 years is relocating utility lines that way. The next thing is there used to be a pump station right here for the water right here. This is what you're seeing right here. There's going to be a new pump station. We have gone over the hurdles of securing a pump that will work in immersion. That pump is not made in the US. It took us a long time to get that pump. And so that project is 5 years. And then the rebuild of everything else will be starting in 2030. Okay? So it's a long run, a long project in its totality. That would be it.
All right, what's happening this summer? Construction is happening this summer. So I'll just change this category to other fun and interesting events. One of the things that I didn't mention that sort of falls under this is we are resurfacing the last portion of the McClory bike path. So those of you who are cyclists will appreciate that. We're widening it as well as resurfacing it, so that's kind of nice. At the end of the summer, there'll be a new playground constructed down at the beach to replace the one there currently, which is somewhat obsolete. I'm hoping that some of you get out and play tennis at the new tennis courts in West Park. Those were completely rebuilt from foundation up and are really the only courts in Lake Forest that are competition-worthy tennis courts. Summer events, the usual things are happening this summer. We've got outdoor concerts that occur typically on Thursdays. This Meet the Engineers event has been kind of interesting. I think we've had one already, if not two. I went to one of them, and it's the construction folks would interface with kids and family members and talk to them about how the project is coming along. And it's much like you know, the event that we do for Public Works, Meet the Fleet, only for little kids. And it's pretty cool. My grandson, who I'm going out to see in about 2 hours, got a little hard hat and trucks, and they're his favorite things. So bring your kids to that. Live music on the patio at Deer Path Golf Course. Obviously, Lake Forest Day is coming, and with it, all of its usual events. Let's see what, do I have another slide? Lake Bluff, okay.
Thanks, Randy. You should have received in your mail about a month ago or 2 months ago a little postcard with all the events in town. We have a total of 28 events this summer without counting the market. Next on our list, I can notice, Joanna, is the Chamber of Commerce Sales Celebration, July 17 to 19, followed by a favorite of mine that is the Criterium, downtown Lake Bluff on July 26. Come and visit. Lake Bluff is fun, okay? Enjoy Lake Bluff. Market is awesome. Couldn't park this morning, hate it.
All right, I believe this is the final slide, so stay connected. It's always interesting, and Regis may get this, he may not. One of the most common criticisms that I receive is about transparency and communications, which is very strange to me because from my vantage point, if you live in Lake Forest, you have to actively work not to know what we're doing. Our communications director, Dana Olson, does an unbelievable job. You have all of these different assets that are easily accessible. You know, we have the city email that goes out to, what, 12,000 email addresses, something like that. If you even think that you want to know what's going on, if you go on the city's website and just type in what you want, it'll direct you to the space. So it really is unbelievably easy to know what's going on in the city of Lake Forest while making very little effort. So again, the point is, use these resources if you want to know things. You can also call your alderman. The mayor's a little harder to get a hold of. We want everybody to know what's going on. Our intent is to make everything transparent to the extent that that's possible. So help us out by utilizing these resources. And if you don't see something, just give us a shout out, and I guarantee you somebody will get back to you and let you know what's coming up. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. And I think we have the same concern in Lake Bluff of transparency, of being open to the community. We're a smaller community, so it might be easier to find us on the green. We have the same, learning from you, for example. We have the same media, and we very much are welcoming any comments. Come and visit us on Monday night at 7 p.m. Come and address the community. It's very easy. And thank you. Thank you very much for being here. And Joanna, thank you very much for setting this up. This is important.
Thank you all very much. Were there any questions? Did anyone have a question? Ooh, we've got a few at this table. Okay, here we go. What are your thoughts regarding the parking situation downtown Lake Forest? Does the streetscape project include lighting beyond string lights, and is the project running on time? You did answer that, Mayor Tack, but regarding parking downtown.
Listen, parking is, to some extent right now between construction and other things that have been happening, addition of restaurants that have become very vibrant, et cetera, parking is becoming a real issue. We are making every effort to utilize the municipal lots and distribute employees through the lots so that there's more space available for people who are coming in to shop and patronize businesses. That's certainly true. It will be alleviated slightly, obviously, when the construction is done. But again, we now have 3 restaurants downtown that all are using valet services to move cars around both sides of the tracks. We have other restaurants that are actively interested. So parking going forward it's going to be a city planning issue. And we've talked about it for a few years. You know, the problem with parking, of course, everybody wants to have an open parking space, but nobody wants to have more parking spaces. So a conversation that will come up. What were the other ones?
The other one was, it was the streetscape project. Will it include lighting beyond the string lights, it says here?
Yes, yes. Both Bank Lane and Deer Path has designed sort of architectural lighting. We are also having some discussions about additional lighting at night. Some issues have come up regarding, you know, again, the vibrancy of the restaurants and the businesses and people sort of going to and from their cars at night, and how the lighting isn't maybe optimal for that at this point. But yes, there are plans for that.
Thank you so much. I've got one now for the village president. What is Lake Bluff doing to help reverse the hazardous zoning change at EMCO Chemical located close to our schools and homes?
We did a lot, actually. I do not like what's happening. We had soft meetings with Mayor Rockingham. We visited him in his office. We had a direct and frank conversation. We visited him with our village planner at his zoning board, and his zoning board voted against that M1 to M3. M1 is light industry, M3 is, you can basically have a steel plant, a paper mill, something that spews anything you want in the air. That's where they're going. But what they wanted was repair trucks. That's it. Okay? So we tried to argue saying, well, why don't you have an M1 modified zoning? And we're done. We're good. The mayor intervened during that meeting to try to change the minds of the trustees for the zoning board. It didn't work. Coming to their village meeting, their town meeting, the community, the direct community came around and spoke, and we're talking about Navy base, the Lake Bluff, North Chicago, and the county. People spoke up against it and they voted for it. We continued interviewing into that. We did not change their mind. It is infuriating. Anything could happen at this point in terms of pollution. We're not happy. And so we're continuing, but I was told that trying to intervene for a zoning change is actually pretty much impossible. We're trying to do anything we can right here, but I do not have high hopes, and I'm sorry about that.
This one is for Mayor Tack. And I hope I have this right, Brian. So this is for 255 West Deer Path. What is the cost to renovate it for the fire department improvements and full use?
We don't know the cost yet because we haven't gone through the entire process of determining what that needs to be, what services need to be there. So I can't answer the question with any degree of accuracy. We have a general idea and what range that project will be, but until we know exactly what we're going to put out to bid, we won't have any estimates that are even remotely accurate. But the beauty is what we will be able to get out of that facility is what, in my opinion, the department needs and quite honestly, what we're contractually obligated to provide them. So it's an essential project.
Thank you. And here is a card that has a question for each one of us, or of you. One is for Lake Bluff. What is going on with scooters?
I don't know. This is actually Lake County land, so we're not in the direct.
Isn't that Shields Township?
Shields
Shields
Lake
Township,
County.
yeah.
Yes. All I know is they appealed to the state for a liquor and a gambling license, and I fully expect an outfit that will have the gambling machines in there.
Okay. And there was a liquor store next door to it originally.
Correct,
Yeah.
and that one closed, yep.
Right, Angelo's. And then the first question is for the mayor, and it is, when will the entrance be beautified to, it's the Waukegan entrance to Lake Forest Hospital?
The Waukegan Road, you mean across from Middle Fork?
Wanda? Yes. Are you here?
Oh, okay. News to me. According to our director of development, they're working on some updated signage and lighting. You know what? Going back to the beginning, so I spent my life at Lake Forest Hospital, adult life, and I have to say that the landscaping and whatnot, the entrances to that facility, I think are pretty spectacular. Not that they can't be upgraded a little bit, but there's not very many hospitals where the approach to it looks like that. So I think we're pretty lucky with the work that the hospital has done to date, but it sounds like they're working on improving that yet. But I don't know any details, so I can't go beyond that.
So what is Block 2 proposed to be? And then I think you were saying something about that building down on the bottom of your slide. I didn't quite follow.
Right now, the plan is Block 1, that is just a streetscape, okay? This is the brewery, for example. That's basically matching what happened in Block 2, that is basically Scranton in front of Innovasi and continuing. That's matching that space. Block 3 is where the decrepit bank was, 20 years in the making. This is all reset, all rebuild, and that's all I mentioned. Okay, this is the start. That's what was discussed. This is what we're doing today. This is part of a plan. It follows the strategic and comprehensive land use plan. And if you look at PCCBA, ABR, and the village board meeting minutes, it's all there. Okay?
But do you think that there will be more in the future discussion around the in the middle kind of
Yeah.
residential?
I believe this is actually necessary. Part of the Opticos study was how is our the current houses, the current dwellings meeting the needs of a population. At 60%, they do not meet our population. So it is bound, we are bound to have changes. Many people say, you know what, I'm getting old, I want to downsize. I do not want to go to Libertyville. I do not want to go to another community than Lake Bluff. So it is necessary. So today is a start. I hope there will be more to accommodate the needs of people in Lake Bluff.
Thank you.
Yep.
Gentlemen, thank you so very much for being with us today. We thank you. One more round of applause for Mayor Tack and Village President. Thank you. Thank you.